The night shift at the Deep Space Listening Station in Daejeon, South Korea was usually boring. Park Jun yawned as he watched the monitors. Nothing new ever happened here. For 3 years, he had sat at this same desk, listening to the empty noise of space. 2 more hours, he mumbled, checking his watch. Outside, the sun was about to rise. Park took a sip of his cold coffee and clicked through the routine scans. Something caught his eye. A pattern in the noise. Not random. Not natural. "That's odd," he said, sitting up straight. He zoomed in on the signal. It pulsed in a clear pattern. 1, 2, 3. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Over and over. Park's heart beat faster. This wasn't just cosmic noise. This was a message. From someone. Or something. He called his boss, Director Kim. "Sir, I found something strange in the deep space feeds." "It's 5 a.m., Park. This better be good." "I think it's a message, sir. Not from Earth." The pattern is too perfect. 10 minutes later, Director Kim stood behind Park, staring at the screen. "When did we first pick this up?" he asked. Park checked the logs. His eyes widened. "Sir, this signal has been in our database for 50 years. Impossible. It was received in 1975. Sir, then it was labeled anomaly and filed away. No one ever checked it again." Director Kim's face turned pale. "Check if there are more." Park searched the database. "There are hundreds, sir. All with the same basic pattern but different details. All filed as anomalies over the last 50 years. We need to tell the government," Director Kim said, reaching for his phone. 3 days later, Park found himself in a secret meeting room beneath Seoul. Around a large table sat military leaders, scientists, and government officials. At the head of the table was Dr. Kim Do-yeon, Korea's top expert in language. "The signals are definitely a language," Dr. Kim said. "We've started to break the code. It's a message sent to Earth, repeated many times over decades." "From who?" asked General Baek. "We don't know yet, but we know it's a warning." The room fell silent. Dr. Kim continued, "So far we understand only bits and pieces. There's something called the Krath Empire. They have conquered many worlds, and whoever sent this message thinks Earth is in danger." "Why didn't we see this sooner?" asked the Prime Minister. Park spoke up, his voice shaking slightly. "The signals were caught by our systems, but they were classified as background noise. No one thought to check them carefully." "You mean to tell me," General Buck said slowly, "that aliens have been trying to warn us for 50 years, and we just didn't check our messages?" Park nodded. "Yes, sir. Exactly that." "Can we respond to these signals?" asked the Prime Minister. Dr. Kim shook his head. "The last message came 5 years ago. Then they stopped. We think whoever sent them may have given up on us." A young woman at the end of the table raised her hand. It was Lee Hyun, a math genius who had been brought in to help. "There's something else in the messages. Coordinates." "Coordinates?" General Buck leaned forward. "Yes, to a specific spot in space, not too far from our solar system. I think they left us directions." The Prime Minister looked around the room. "Does anyone outside this room know about this?" "No, sir," Director Kim said. "Only the people here." "Good. Let's keep it that way." The Prime Minister stood up. "I need options. Can we reach these coordinates? What will we find there? And most importantly, is this Krath Empire real? And are they coming for us?" Park looked down at his hands. Just 3 days ago, he had been bored at his desk. Now he might have discovered the biggest threat humanity had ever faced. And they were 50 years late in responding. For 2 weeks, Dr. Kim Do-yeon barely slept. He worked day and night in the underground lab with his team. The alien messages filled every screen around them. "I think I found something," said Lee Hyun, the young mathematician. She pointed to a repeating pattern on her screen. These symbols appear together often. I believe it's how they say human or Earth. Dr. Kim nodded. Good work. We're starting to build a dictionary. In the corner, Park Jun watched them work. After finding the message, the government had moved him to this secret team. He wasn't a scientist, but he knew the signals better than anyone. Dr. Kim, look at this, Park said. He pulled up an old signal from 1975. The first one they found. The pattern is simpler here. Maybe it's like a hello message. Dr. Kim studied it. You're right. This is basic. They started simple, hoping we would answer. When we didn't, their messages got more complex, more urgent. A day later, they had their first breakthrough. I can read parts of it now, Dr. Kim told the Prime Minister during the daily briefing. It says, to Earth humans, danger. Krath Empire expands. Your sector next. Who sent it? Asked General Baek. They call themselves the Zolan Federation. They're at war with the Krath Empire. They've been losing for a long time. Li Hun spoke up. There's more. The Zolans say they invited Earth to join something called the Galactic Council over 100 years ago. We never answered. How could we miss that? The Prime Minister asked. The message says it was sent in 1866, Dr. Kim explained. We had no technology to receive it then. General Baek frowned. So aliens have been trying to talk to us for over 150 years, and we've been ignoring them this whole time. It seems so, Dr. Kim said, but that's not the most important part. The Zolans believe humans can help defeat the Krath. Us? How? The Prime Minister looked confused. These aliens have space travel and advanced weapons. What could we possibly offer? Dr. Kim took a deep breath. The messages say human brains work differently. The Krath control other aliens with some kind of mind technology, but they think humans might be immune. The room fell silent as everyone considered this. There's one more thing, Li Hun said. Those coordinates I found. The Zolans left a hidden base there. They hoped we would find it someday. The Prime Minister stood up and walked to the window, looking out at Seoul below. The city lights glowed in the night, the people going about their lives with no idea of what was happening. How far are these coordinates? He finally asked. About 4 light years, Li Hun said. Can we reach it? Dr. Kim nodded to a man sitting quietly in the corner. Dr. Yoon, please explain. Dr. Yoon cleared his throat. We've been developing an experimental space drive in secret for 15 years. It was meant for Mars missions, but with some changes, it could reach the Zolan base in about 2 months. 2 months to travel 4 light years. General Baek looked skeptical. The drive bends space, sir. It's based on theories we've been working on since the 1990s. The Prime Minister turned back to the group. If what these messages say is true, we may be the last hope for many worlds. But first, we need to know more. He looked at General Baek. Prepare a ship. We're going to answer this invitation, even if we are a century late. Park Jun raised his hand. Sir, the messages stopped 5 years ago. What if we're too late? What if no one is at those coordinates anymore? The Prime Minister's face was grim. Then God help us all. The ship was ready in just 1 month. They named it Hope. It wasn't very big, about the size of a small airplane, but it carried Earth's future with it. Commander Han Minho stood in front of his crew. There were only 5 of them. 2 pilots, a doctor, an engineer, and himself, plus Park Jun, who wasn't military but knew the alien messages better than anyone. This mission is top secret, Commander Han told them. As far as the world knows, we're testing a new satellite. Only the 6 of us, plus 20 people back on Earth, know the truth. Dr. Yoon, the scientist who built the space drive, gave them a final briefing. The drive will create a bubble around the ship, he explained. Inside the bubble, space will bend. You'll move faster than light without breaking any laws of physics. Will it hurt? Asked Park Jun. He had never been to space before. "You won't feel a thing," Dr. Yoon promised. "Just don't look out the windows during jump. What you'd see might break your mind." 2 days later, they launched. To avoid questions, they took off at night from a secret base in the ocean. The ship rose smoothly into space. Once they were past the moon, Commander Han gave the order. "Activate the drive." The engineer pushed a series of buttons. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the stars outside began to stretch like rubber bands. Park closed his eyes tight, remembering Dr. Yoon's warning. "Jump complete," the engineer announced after a few minutes. "We are 4 light years from Earth." Park opened his eyes. Through the window, he saw an unfamiliar star. Around it orbited a small rocky world much like Mars. "That's it," said the navigator. "That's where the coordinates point." As they got closer, they saw something shining on the planet's surface. It was a small dome, glittering in the starlight. "No signs of life," reported the pilot. "But there's a weak energy signal coming from the dome." Commander Han made a decision. "We're going down." They landed near the dome. It was about the size of a soccer field, made of a clear material that looked like glass, but was stronger than steel. There was a door with strange symbols on it. "I recognize these symbols from the messages," Park said. I think it says, 'Welcome, Earth.'" Commander Han touched the door. It slid open with a soft hiss. The air inside smelled clean but strange, like flowers they had never smelled before. "Hello," Commander Han called out. His voice echoed in the empty dome. Then they heard a sound, a soft humming. From the back of the dome, a figure approached. It walked on 2 legs like a human, but its skin was pale blue. Its eyes were large and golden, with no pupils. It was about as tall as a 10-year-old child. "You came," the alien said in perfect Korean. "After all this time," Earth finally answered. The human stood frozen in shock. How do you speak our language?" Park finally asked. "We've been studying your broadcasts for centuries," the alien replied. "We know all your languages. We've been waiting so long that we almost gave up hope." "Who are you?" Commander Han asked. "I am Tae, last keeper of this outpost, one of the last free Zolans in the galaxy." The alien's golden eyes looked sad. "You're very late, humans of Earth. The Krath have conquered almost everything. But perhaps there is still time." The alien touched a wall, and the whole dome lit up. Images appeared all around them. Stars, planets, maps of the galaxy. And everywhere, a dark shadow spreading. "This is the Krath Empire," Tae said. 80% of all known worlds are under their control now, and they're coming for you next." 2 weeks after meeting Tae, the ship returned to Earth. They brought back Tae and a large amount of Zolan data about the Krath Empire. The landing was as secret as the launch. The Prime Minister called an emergency meeting with top scientists. Dr. Kang Minji, Korea's best brain scientist, was there. She had spent the last week studying the Zolan data. "The Krath Empire has a special weapon," Dr. Kang explained. "They don't just shoot their enemies. They control their minds." She showed a brain scan on the big screen. "This is what happens when the Krath signal hits an alien brain. See how these parts light up. The alien can't think for itself anymore. It just does what the Krath want." "That's how they took over so many worlds so fast," Commander Han added. "They don't need to destroy armies. They just turn them off." "But the good news," Dr. Kang continued, "is that human brains are different." She showed a new scan. "This is a human brain exposed to the same signal. Nothing happens." "Why?" asked the Prime Minister. "Tae thinks it's because humans have more imagination," Park Jun said. "We think in ways that other aliens don't. Our brains are messier." Tae stepped forward. The blue alien had to stand on a box to reach the microphone. "Humans are strange," Tae said. "You make art. You tell stories that aren't true. You think in circles and jumps. The Krath signal needs straight, simple minds to work. So we're just too weird to control, General Blake asked. Exactly, Tay replied. That's why we contacted Earth. We need minds that the Krath can't touch. Dr. Kang pulled up another image. I've been studying the Krath control signal. I think we can do more than just resist it. We might be able to turn it against them. The room grew quiet. You mean make our own mind control? The Prime Minister looked concerned. Not exactly, Dr. Kang said. More like a counter-signal. Something that breaks their control over others. It could free the conquered worlds. A military strategist named Choi Tai raised his hand. If humans can't be controlled, we have another advantage. The Krath won't expect us. Their whole empire is built on mind control. They probably don't have good regular defenses. A small human team could go where craft ships can't. Commander Han realized. We could move through their territory without them knowing. The Prime Minister looked at Tay. How many free worlds are left? Less than 20% of the galaxy, Tay said sadly. Small pockets of resistance, hidden bases. The Krath find more every day. And Earth. When will they come here? Soon. They've noticed your radio signals. They'll send scouts within a year. The Prime Minister stood up. Then we have work to do. He turned to General Blake. Contact every major country. Tell them everything. We need a united Earth. Yes, sir, General Blake replied. Dr. Kang, develop that counter-signal. Commander Han, I want plans for more ships. Bigger ones. What about me? Park Jun asked. The Prime Minister looked at him. You found the message, Park. Now help us answer it. Work with Tay to contact any resistance that's left out there. Tay's golden eyes widened. You want to fight? Most worlds just try to hide from the Krath. We're not hiding, the Prime Minister said firmly. Earth has been silent for too long. It's time to make some noise. As the meeting ended, Dr. Kang pulled Park aside. The human brain is our weapon, she whispered. And I just realized something else. If we can break the Krath control, we won't just save ourselves. We could free the whole galaxy. 1 month passed quickly. The world's leaders now all knew about the Krath threat. For the first time in history, all countries worked together without fighting. Park Jun and Tay worked day and night to contact the remaining free aliens in the galaxy. But there was a problem. Our signals keep breaking up, Park said, frustrated. I can't get clear messages out. Yu Jinwoo, a communications expert, joined their team. He studied Earth's old systems and the Zolan technology they had. I think I found something strange. You told them after 3 days of tests. Our Earth signals are actually hiding themselves. What do you mean? Asked Park. You showed them a display of signal patterns. Look at our old TV and radio broadcasts. The way we send them makes them look like random noise to Krath scanners. Is that good or bad? Commander Han asked. Both, you explained. Good because it kept Earth hidden from the Krath all these years. Bad because it's why we missed so many alien messages. Our systems thought they were just noise too. Tay looked amazed. You've been accidentally hiding yourselves all this time. You nodded. Our technology is so simple and old compared to yours that it created a kind of mask. The Krath weren't looking for signals like ours. Can we use this? General Blake asked. Yes, you said with excitement. I can make a new system that looks like noise to the Krath, but carries real messages. We can talk to the resistance without the Krath hearing us. Within days, Yu's new system was working. They sent messages out to the coordinates Tay gave them. At first, there was no answer. Then, one by one, replies came in. The Drull Collective responds. The free planets of Sector 7 hear you. Resistance Group Nexus acknowledges Earth's call. Park couldn't believe it. There are more out there than we thought. Tay nodded. The Krath think they've crushed all resistance. They don't know about these hidden groups. Commander Han saw an opportunity. If the Krath think they're fighting small, separate groups, they won't expect a united attack. The communications room became Earth's link to the galaxy. Maps showed the location of each resistance group. They were spread out, but there were more than 30 of them. For the first time, we can all talk to each other without the Krath knowing. You explained to the Prime Minister. We're creating a real network. Dr. Kang joined them with good news about the counter-signal. We've tested it on the samples Tay brought. It works. It breaks the Krath control. How do we use it? General Bug asked. We need to get close to their control centers. Dr. Kang said. The signal doesn't travel far yet. Commander Han pointed to a spot on the galactic map. Tay says this is a main Krath communication hub. It controls a whole sector. If we can hit this, we free millions at once. Can we reach it? The Prime Minister asked. Our new ships will be ready in 2 weeks, Commander Han said. They're small but fast. The Krath won't expect humans, Tay added. They've never met a species they can't control before. The Prime Minister looked at the team. Then we have a plan. You, keep the resistance network growing. Dr. Kang, make the counter-signal devices. Commander Han, prepare your ships and crew. As they left the meeting, Park asked Tay, do we really have a chance? They've ruled the galaxy for centuries. Tay's golden eyes seemed to smile. The Krath are powerful because everyone obeys them. What happens when people stop obeying? Freedom, Park said. Exactly, Tay replied. And that's worth fighting for. The fleet was small by galactic standards, just 5 ships. But they were Earth's best hope. Each ship carried 20 soldiers and one of Dr. Kang's counter-signal devices. Admiral Baek Sun-ho stood on the bridge of the lead ship, named Defiance. He looked at his crew, all wearing the new Earth Defense Force uniform. Today we fight not just for Earth, but for every world under Krath control, he told them. We are humanity's first space warriors. Commander Jang Yoon-ha led the Special Operations Team. Her job was to get inside the Krath hub and plant the counter-signal device. She had trained her team for weeks, using information from Tay about Krath buildings and security. The Krath rely too much on mind control, she explained to her team. Their physical security is weak. They never expected enemies who could think for themselves. The ships jumped through space using Dr. Yoon's drive technology. When they arrived, they saw the Krath hub, a massive space station orbiting a dead moon. No alerts, reported the scanner officer. They don't see us yet. Admiral Baek gave the order. Launch operation. Commander Jang's team took a small shuttle to the station. They wore space suits made to look like Krath worker uniforms. The station's docking bay opened for them, thinking they were a regular supply ship. Remember, Commander Jang told her team, walk like you belong here. The Krath will try to control you. When nothing happens, they'll be confused. Use that moment. They entered the station. Tall, gray aliens with 4 eyes looked at them, then looked confused. A Krath officer approached them, its 4 eyes blinking rapidly. You don't respond to control, it said in a clicking language that their translators decoded. What are you? Commander Jang didn't answer. She simply pulled out her weapon and stunned the officer. Her team moved quickly through the halls, stunning any Krath they met. They have no idea what to do, one soldier said. They keep trying to control us instead of fighting. They reached the central control room. It was huge, with hundreds of screens showing different star systems. Krath officers sat at control panels, sending mind control signals to billions of beings. Commander Jang's team secured the room in less than 2 minutes. No one was killed, just stunned. Plant the device, she ordered. A technician placed Dr. Kang's counter-signal device on the main control panel. It started to glow with blue light. Back on the Defiance, Admiral Baek watched the screens. Counter-signal is active, he reported. Stand by for results. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, one by one, the screens showing Krath-controlled worlds began to change. The peaceful work patterns turned to confusion. Then celebration. "It's working," Admiral Bake said. "The counter-signal is breaking craft control across the whole sector." Commander Zhang's voice came through the radio. "Hub secured. You won't believe this, Admiral. There are only about 50 actual craft on this entire station. Everyone else was mind-controlled slaves from other worlds." As the counter-signal spread, these slaves woke up. They looked around in confusion, then rage as they realized what had happened to them. A tall bird-like alien approached Commander Zhang. "You freed us," it said through the translator. "My people, the Vari, have been slaves for 3 generations. Tell us how to fight." Similar reports came in from planets across the sector. Billions of beings were waking up from craft control, and they were angry. Admiral Bake sent a message to Earth. "Operation Blind Spot successful. Counter-signal working better than expected. Craft control broken in Sector 12. Request permission to move to next target." The Prime Minister's reply was immediate. "Permission granted. The galaxy is waking up." News of the successful attack spread fast. The freed beings joined Earth's cause immediately. New ships arrived from other resistance groups. Within a month, Admiral Baek's fleet grew from 5 ships to 50. Back on Earth, Park Jun had a new job. He now led the galaxy-wide communication network. The system that you had created worked perfectly. The craft couldn't detect or block their signals. "We need to reach more worlds at once," Park told his team. "One hub at a time is too slow." He thought back to his days at the listening station, how one small pattern had changed everything. Now he needed to create a pattern that the whole galaxy would notice. After days of work, Park had an idea. What if we used the craft's own network against them? He showed his plan to Dr. Kang and Yu. They would create a special signal that could travel through the craft's own communication systems. When it reached a craft control center, it would change into the counter-signal. "Like a virus," Dr. Kang said. "It hides until it reaches the right place, then activates." They worked for 2 weeks to build the new system. They tested it on small craft relay stations first. It worked perfectly. Then Park sent a message to Admiral Bake. "Ready for galaxy-wide broadcast." The Admiral replied, "Begin Operation Awakening." Park took a deep breath and pressed the broadcast button. The signal went out, traveling through hidden paths in the craft network. It reached thousands of control hubs at the same time. All across the galaxy, the counter-signal activated. Billions of beings woke up from craft control at once. Park sent a simple message with the counter-signal, translated into all known languages. "You are free. Join us." On the main screen in Earth's command center, they watched as the map of the galaxy changed. Red areas under craft control turned green as people broke free. "The craft are losing control of whole star systems," General Beck reported. "Their slaves are turning against them." Tay watched with golden eyes wide in amazement. In 300 years, no one has ever pushed the craft back. Until now. The craft empire was in chaos. For centuries, they had controlled other species instead of killing them. Now those same beings were fighting back. Reports came in from across the galaxy. The Vari have taken back their home world. The Nexus Resistance now controls 3 sectors. The Drell Collective has destroyed 2 craft battle stations. The craft responded by calling back their ships to defend their homeworlds. For the first time in centuries, they were afraid. "They're retreating," Admiral Bake reported. "The craft are pulling back to their core systems." Park couldn't believe it was working so well. "Is it really this easy?" "Not easy," Tay corrected. "The craft never developed strong weapons or defenses because they never needed them. Mind control was enough. You humans took away their only real weapon." The Prime Minister called a meeting. "This is just the beginning," he warned. "The craft are still dangerous. They will adapt." "What's our next move?" General Bake asked. Admiral Bake reports the freed worlds are forming a united fleet, the Prime Minister said. "They want to attack the craft home systems." "Can they win?" Park asked. Maybe, Tay said. But the craft leaders will have backup plans. They've ruled too long not to. Commander Han spoke up. Then we need to be there. If the craft have other weapons, we need to be ready. The Prime Minister nodded. Prepare our best ships and crews. Earth will join the attack on Craft Prime. Park looked at the galaxy map. So much had changed in just a few months, all because he noticed a pattern in the noise. The final battle is coming, Tay said quietly. The Krath won't surrender their power easily. The combined fleet gathered at the edge of Krath space. Over 2,000 ships from 50 different worlds. Earth sent its 10 best ships, including the new flagship Unity, commanded by Admiral Bake himself. This is the largest free fleet in 300 years, Tay told them. The last time this many ships fought together, the Krath still won. Admiral Bake studied the battle plans. The Krath home system has 7 planets. Their capital is on the 3rd planet, Krath Prime. What defenses do they have? Commander Han asked. The Krath have pulled back 500 battle cruisers, reported Avari commander. They've built defense rings around their planets, and they still have millions of mind-controlled slaves fighting for them. Our counter-signal will free the slaves, Park said. Only if we can get close enough. Dr. Kang reminded them. They'll be ready for it this time. Li Hyun, the mathematician who had helped translate the first alien messages, had joined the fleet. She had been working on a special project with Dr. Kang. We've improved the counter-signal, Li said. It's stronger now, but we need to get it to the source of the Krath control system. Where is that? Asked Admiral Bake. Tay pointed to a spot on the map of Krath Prime. The control nexus. It's where all their mind control signals start. It's deep underground, heavily guarded. We'll need a ground team, Commander Han said. Commander Jang stepped forward. My team will go. We've done it before. The plan was set. The fleet would attack from space, drawing the craft ships away from Krath Prime. Then a small team would land and reach the control nexus with the new counter-signal device. The next day, the battle began. The Free Fleet jumped into Krath space. Immediately, the Krath ships moved to attack. They fight differently now, Admiral Bake noticed. More desperate, more aggressive. The space around Krath Prime filled with laser fire and explosions. Ships from both sides fell. But the Free Fleet pushed forward, step by step. We're breaking through their first defense line, Admiral Bake reported. Launch the ground team now. Commander Jang's ship slipped through the battle. It was small and fast, hard to hit. They reached the surface of Krath Prime and landed in a forest near the capital city. The control nexus is 5 kilometers that way, Commander Jang told her team. Stay alert. The Krath will throw everything at us now. They moved through the streets of the Krath capital. Everywhere, mind-controlled beings from dozens of worlds were fighting to protect their masters. The team stunned as many as they could, but had to move quickly. We're getting close, Commander Jang said. I can feel the control signals getting stronger. They reached the entrance to the control nexus, a massive building with tall towers. Inside, they fought their way past guards to reach the central chamber. There, they found something unexpected. The Krath Emperor himself waited for them. He was taller than other Krath, with 6 eyes instead of 4. Around him stood 10 Krath lords. Humans, the Emperor said. You've caused quite a problem for us. Your control over the galaxy is over, Commander Jang said. The Emperor laughed. You think so? We've ruled for centuries. We're prepared for setbacks. He touched a control panel. This is our final defense. If we can't control the galaxy, we'll make sure no one else can either. Alarms began to sound throughout the building. What's happening? Asked one of Jang's team. Li Hyun, who had come with the ground team, checked her scanner. He's boosting the control signal to maximum power. It will burn out the brains of everyone under their control. Billions will die, Commander Jang realized. We need to stop it now. The Emperor smiled. Too late, humans. Too late. Li Hyun stepped forward. her face calm despite the danger. "We knew you might try something like this." She pulled out the special counter-signal device that she and Dr. Kang had created. It looked different from the earlier versions, smaller but with a bright blue core. "This isn't just a counter-signal anymore," Lee explained. "It's a reflection shield." The Emperor laughed. "Nothing can stop the signal now." Lee activated the device. It hummed to life, glowing brighter. "Your signal is just energy. Energy can be reflected." The device shot out a blue field that surrounded the human team. The craft control signal hit the field and bounced back toward the Emperor and his lords. The craft had never built protection against their own weapon. Why would they? They never imagined it could be turned against them. The Emperor's 6 eyes widened in horror as his own deadly signal hit him with full force. He fell to his knees, then collapsed to the floor. Around him, the craft lords dropped one by one. "What happened to them?" Commander Zhang asked. "They're alive," Lee said, "but their minds are locked. They can't think or control anyone ever again." Lee connected their device to the control nexus. "Now we send the counter-signal to every corner of the galaxy." Outside, the battle was changing. As the counter-signal spread, more and more beings woke up from craft control. Many were on the craft ships themselves. They turned against their masters, taking over the ships from within. Admiral Bake watched in amazement as craft ships stopped firing, then began to signal surrender. "Ground team reports success," his communications officer said. "The Emperor is captured. The control system is ours." The battle for Craft Prime was over. After 3 centuries of terror, the Craft Empire had fallen in less than a day. 1 year later, representatives from 200 worlds gathered on Earth. They met in a new building in Seoul, built specially for this historic day. Kim Do-yeon, now Earth's ambassador, stood before the crowd. "Today, we form the new Galactic Council, not built on control, but on cooperation." The hall was filled with beings of all shapes and colors. Some had feathers, some had scales, some had many eyes, some had none, but all were free. The craft ruled through fear, Ambassador Kim continued. "They saw differences as weakness, but we know better. Our differences make us stronger together." The new council was different from the old one that had existed before the craft. Earth held a special place in it, honored as the world that had freed the galaxy. Park Jun, now Director of Galactic Communications, helped set up the new message system. It connected all worlds instantly, with no signal ever missed or ignored. As the ceremony ended, Park thought about how much had changed. Just over a year ago, he had been a board officer at a listening station. Now he stood among the leaders of the galaxy. Tay approached him after the ceremony. "Your world has come far in a short time." "We had a lot of catching up to do," Park replied. "What will happen to the craft now?" Tay asked. Ambassador Kim joined them. "Their worlds will be rebuilt. Their people will learn to live without controlling others. It will take time, but they'll have help." Above them, the new council building had a simple message carved into its entrance. It was written in all the languages of the galaxy. "Earth will never again leave a message unchecked." Park smiled at those words. The galaxy had almost been lost because humans hadn't checked their inbox. It was a mistake they would never repeat. As night fell over Seoul, ships from 100 worlds lit up the sky. Not in battle, but in celebration. The stars that had once seemed so distant now felt like neighbors. Humanity had joined the galaxy, and the galaxy was better for it.